alarming numbers that we do now.
Right.
So I am very glad that you guys are here, and this is your, your playroom. Whatever you like to share, feel free.
That's the other thing I was going to bring up is that not only is it just the vaccines, but before the child's even born, and this is what a lot of mothers don't understand, is before the child's even born, when the mother's pregnant, the things that she puts into her body, including when they have them take vaccines, but other things, like if she goes to McDonald's, for instance, or she goes to a fast food place, a lot of times they don't realize that that goes into the baby, and that is not just chemicals, but that is just nastiness going into the baby. And I don't know any other way to put it.
Sure,
but when
free.
everything is forming in the baby's body, it's not going to form correctly. And so they don't. That's one big thing. Also with coffee, things like that they're putting into the body, and medications as well.
Yes.
And right now, that's actually what we do in this country is we wait till we get sick, and then we take the medication instead of finding the problem. And that's when you talk about kids getting off medications, or even adults getting off medications. We see that in our office every single day, and we actually have a jug that we have that when they get off, they put the medication in the jug.
Just pay you whatever they were paying for the drug. I think it's like the country would be debt free at this point.
And that's huge. Yeah, that'd be another whole.
Yes, exactly. Another show. Traditional doctors. How effective do you guys feel that traditional doctors have been in treating these symptoms?
Well, when it comes to treating them, they're treating a symptom. So I would say when it comes to treating a symptom, they're probably doing fairly well.
Okay.
But when it comes to actually treating the cause and getting down to what's going on in the child's body or even in the adult's body, that's where it's kind of missing the boat.
Okay.
And so in that aspect, right now, like I said, that wait until we get sick, taking a medication for that symptom, and then another symptom comes out and you take a medication, and it just keeps happening. And so when it comes to health, you have your 100% health over here, you have your 0% health over here. When you reach that first symptom, you're somewhere in between.
Yes.
And you take a medication. Now, is that medication going to bring you back over here, or do you think it's going to continue down this pathway? And so they're getting rid of that symptom, but you're continuing to get sick.
Exactly.
And so with kids, with autism, with allergies, all these different things, ADD, ADHD is a huge one, is because these medications are very, very dangerous, and they're causing all kinds of psychotropic issues with the kids. And when it comes to school shootings, every single one of these school shootings was either on antidepressant or anti-anxiety or ADD, ADHD medication.
That is so true.
And
that is so true.
With that, the fact that this isn't in our office, and this is how we work about it, is instead of going into taking a medication, you do things to get to the problem and let the body heal itself.
So more preventative and natural. Yes.
I just wanted to add on that. We like to look at the body as a whole and treat it as a whole. Oftentimes the medical profession falls short in the fact that they only look at one part of it. So maybe your lungs aren't working, or maybe your stomach's not working, and they can treat the symptom in that area, but we don't think about how that medication or treating the symptom in that area is going to affect the rest of us. And that's what's happening. So once you take one medication, you're going to have a slew of other symptoms that show up as a side effect from the medication that you're taking.
Yes.
And then they go back for another medication for one of the side effects that they're getting, and you get a lot of drug interactions. And we don't blame the medical profession, and we appreciate what they do. It's just a different paradigm that they're working from. They're treating it individually, the body, and it needs to really be looked at as a whole.
So what are some suggestions? Because I'm hearing you both state that you believe in more of a natural approach and preventative measures. What are some of the things that you do? And if we could take maybe some of the different subjects, maybe acne. That was one of them. And interestingly, it was always teenagers. But now you've got young kids, I mean, with acne problems and headaches. And I think that's huge. One of our relatives had a friend that died not very long ago. She kept complaining about these headaches, and she had an aneurysm. And a lot of times people say, oh, and they just pick up, a drug for the, let's suppress the symptom. But as you're stating, not dealing with, the root, the primary. So if you can just take some of the different subjects, just at will, acne, headaches, and just tell us what is your approach in your office and how you handle and
I'll
measure
take over
this.
acne. I had that growing up. It was a big issue. I understand with kids, they want to do anything they can to get rid of the acne because
It's ugly.
It's
ugly.
ugly. It itches.
Yes.
It burns. It's not fun.
Yes.
I understand that 100%.
And you can't tell. I mean, your skin is like.
Get closer.
Yes. Oh. Compliments are good, right?
No, but this is really, it is an issue because everybody just thinks, well, it's just an appearance issue. Wait till you grow older.
Yes.
But it's not just an appearance issue. It itches. It burns. It's not fun at all. And the thing is they're going to be pushed to take some sort of medication. As I was growing up,
Yes.
I took every acne medication you can think of, and some of these are, believe it or not, things like Accutane. Very strong acne medications that are very, very dangerous. They mess up the hormones in your body because acne is an ultimate, it's a hormone issue. And so the way we would go around treating that with acne would be one with chiropractic, and towards the end we're going to really just go into what chiropractic is and how it heals the body.
Okay.
But one is with chiropractic adjustments because that has been shown to get the immune system functioning. Getting the hormones functioning again. And then the other way is the foods that are going into their bodies. And so when it comes to the foods that kids are eating nowadays, it's so full of preservatives. Yes. Macaroni and cheese is like a plastic wasteland. And the foods that they're eating is just bad, and what it's doing is making their bodies shut down. And the hormones is, bar none, the number one thing that most people are dealing with, whether you're young, whether you're old.
Yes.
And that's why you see kids who are growing old fast, see kids who are getting things like diabetes, you're getting things like rheumatoid arthritis. All these issues at such a young age is because our hormones are all out of whack. And it's a lot because of the foods they're eating and the sedentary lifestyles that they're living. And with chiropractic, we're able to make sure the nervous system's functioning properly. So taking care of that sedentary lifestyle, getting them exercising, getting them moving.
Great.
And then also putting the correct nutrients into their bodies as well.
Wonderful. So you really put an, I'm sorry, go right
Sorry,
ahead.
while we're talking about hormones,
this is your,
you know, many of the parents may be noticing that girls and boys are developing at such a young age.
Yes.
And that did not happen 10, 20 years ago. It did not happen. And that is specifically from the foods that we eat. Honestly, because if we look at just the beef in the United States is being exposed to so many hormones and antibiotics, and it's being tortured. It's not healthy at all, and our young kids are ingesting these hormones, and that's what's causing them to develop and mature at a young age when their body's not ready for it.
Exactly. I mean, the eggs you bought, you never thought about it.
Right.
And now it's like, let's make sure.
We want
to make sure there are no hormone injections here. Okay, let's see, omega-3, we've got some. Exactly, certain things that you should be mindful of. Yeah. And I think this is very, very critical because a lot of parents, I mean, fried foods, food colorings, artificial flavorings, and sugar. You got a kid that has ADHD and you're wondering why he's not staying focused and not on task, and you keep feeding him sugar, you know, and all these starches. So that is very, very good. So
The other thing with ADD and ADHD is parents think they're giving their kids healthy foods. That's the hard part is you think like a Nutri-Grain bar, that's healthy, right? Yes. Absolutely not.
Exactly.
But the foods that they're given, they think it's healthy, so it's not the parents are doing everything wrong.
Yes,
it's just they don't get it and they don't understand. They haven't been taught.
Right.
And so that's the number one thing when it comes to being a doctor. A doctor is not a healer. The definition of a doctor in Latin is teacher.
Yes.
And so we have to teach people how to teach patients how to adapt and how to heal their own bodies, because that's ultimately who's in control of your health, who's responsible for your health.
Yes.
You
Good
are.
for you. Good
so
for you.
That's the ultimate goal.
And say that again, because so many times we put so much emphasis on the doctor.
Yeah,
and
it's not your insurance company. It's not the pharmaceutical company. Because did they gain anything from you getting healthy?
Yes.
No. It's
You're
you.
absolutely right.
And what I always tell patients is it's 50% me. I have to step up, but it's 50% you. In reality, it's almost 75 to 80% them. And that we can give you all the recommendations we want and do all the things we want. But if you go home and you're eating a Big Mac and sitting watching TV all day, it's like a seesaw effect.
Yes.
We're doing good and we're doing bad, and it just goes back and forth.
Yes, and the teacher, I think that was just essential, that your doctor is your teacher.
Absolutely.
You know, and you should become very educated, and I'm so happy that you're taking time to share on these diseases. What about some of the signs that we should look for initially? I mean, just the onset of these problems, you know, dealing with autism, you know, maybe the lady says, oh, well, he's developing a little bit slower, and she has other kids. And she can compare and contrast that this kid is not accelerating. And what are some of the things that we should look for early on? Because I'm certain that there are moms and dads out there that aren't sure and
There are some specific milestone actually for your children. When your child isn't